from Tennessee, Mr. Duncan, for 5 minutes.
I request the President to address the House in the revised and extend my remarks.
So ordered.
Mr. Speaker, people all over the country are moving from the high-tax states to the low-tax states. This is great for my home state of Tennessee. Almost half the people I represent have moved from someplace else. But it is not great for the country as a whole. And we will face many problems in the future if the high-tax states do not start lowering their taxes and start trying to keep more of their people at home. New York in the 1970s had 43 members of the House. Now it has 27 members. After the 2010 census, each member was supposed to represent between 705 and 710,000 people. While in the 1970s, congressional districts had much lower populations than now. If New York had the average growth of most states, it would have about 11 million more people than it now has. Cities and states throughout the Northeast and Midwest have been losing population or having growth lower than most other states for many years. Last year, a man from New Jersey told me his property taxes on a 2,800 square foot house were $13,000. Plus, they have a state income tax on top of that. I told him the taxes on a similar size house in East Tennessee would probably be between $2,000 and $2,500, and there's no state income tax on top. Almost every week when I'm home in Tennessee, someone tells me a story about how high the taxes were in the state they moved from. Of course, it will be good for the young people of Tennessee if our legislators keep taxes low and people would keep moving there because many new jobs will be created. An example of the problems, though, high taxes have created in the states can be seen in Michigan's Flint water crisis. When taxes become too high, first upper income residents move out, then upper middle, then finally middle income. Then cities are left with a very low tax base. The pressures are greatest to pay the teachers, policemen, and firefighters first. The water infrastructure underground is out of sight, out of mind, and often neglected. Flint has lost almost half of its population since the 1970s, as have many cities, large and small, throughout the high-tax states of the Northeast and the Midwest. We're going to send a boatload of money to Flint because of all the publicity it has received, but we cannot do that for every city and county in all the high-tax states. I read a few days ago that Galesburg, Illinois leaders are telling citizens to drink only bottled water. It's not fair to my taxpayers in Tennessee, where we have acted in fiscally responsible ways and kept our taxes low, to have to now bail out all the cities and counties and even states that have acted in fiscally irresponsible ways. Of course, the problems these wasteful, irresponsible, high-tax areas that keep driving people out will be seen not just with infrastructure, but all across the board, in education, law enforcement, and other areas. Puerto Rico's in big trouble now. Many people say Illinois is next. I urge the high-tax states all over the country to start drastically lowering their taxes. While this exodus of people from these states has been very good for states like Tennessee, it will not be good for the nation as a whole in the long run if it continues. It also should serve as a lesson or a warning that almost every city or state in this nation and almost every country around the world that has had liberal, left-wing, big-spending, high-tax leadership is in serious financial trouble. And every young person who seems to be attracted to the false promises of socialism should look at Cuba, where despite hundreds of miles of beautiful oceanfront property and a wealth of interior natural resources, the average salary is $24 a month. They should also look at Venezuela, which has more oil than Saudi Arabia. Their economy is in shambles, and children are dying because they can't get food and medical treatment. That's what socialism gives the people, Mr. Speaker, and I yield back the balance of my time.